Hello there, Grumpy Old Fart here. I did a UFO Legends video recently on Dr. J. Allen Hynek, and when I was doing my research on him, I sorry had a co-pilot for this particular video. This is Chekhov for those of you who don't remember him. Yeah. All right. I was doing research for Dr. Hynek in that video, and I ran across a particular case of his that he found intriguing, and so I did a little bit of research, and I figured I better do this because it's an interesting incident. It's in my, as I understand it, it's the very first time where humans tried to communicate with a UFO and maybe got a response. So I'm doing this video about the UFO incident in Papua New Guinea from 1959. Dr. Hynek investigated this. I'm going to go into that later. Now, usually when I do these, okay, you want down? Here you go. Usually when I do these UFO incidents, I do research on a number of different articles, and this one, for being one of the ones that Dr. Hynek really touted, I found a lot of different sources of information, and correlating it was kind of hard. But I found this article. I'm going to show it to you. And I'm just going to quote from this article. Okay? And it's a really good article. I highlighted some stuff out of this. I'm going to go from that. According to the renowned Dr. Hynek, he... here we go. All right. This occurred in the Anglican Mission Village at Boyanai, Boianai, Boyanai, Papua New Guinea, which was at the time of the incident still a territory of Australia. Father William Booth Gill was highly thought of, and he was a skeptic, to say the least. You know, especially being a church worker. The first hint of the events came April 5th, 1959, when Father Gill saw a light on an uninhabited nearby Mount Pudi, P-U-D-I. This light, he stated, moved faster than anything he'd ever seen. About a month or so later, his assistant, Stephen Moy, saw an inverted saucer-shaped object in the sky above the mission. Gill dismissed these sightings as some sort of electronic or atmospheric phenomena. But at 6:45 p.m. on June the 26th, the same year, 1959, Father Gill saw what he described as a bright white light to the northwest. And within a few moments, Gill was joined by no less than 38 additional witnesses, including Stephen Moy, Ananias Rarada, and Mrs. Nessie Moy. According to sworn statements, these 30-plus individuals watched a four-legged disc-shaped object approximately the size of 5 full moons lined up end to end. This craft hovered over the mission, and they saw 4 human-like figures that seemed to be performing some kind of a task. They were walking on the top of this disc. A blue light would shine up from the craft at what seemed to be regular intervals, and the witnesses watched the craft and its activities for a full 45 minutes. Until the ship rose into the sky and disappeared at about 7:30 p.m. The witnesses would see several smaller objects appear at 8:30, and 20 minutes later the first craft reappeared. This phenomenal occurrence would last an incredible 4 hours, until cloud cover obscured the view at 10:50. Father Gill prepared a full written report of the event, and 25 other observers signed the document. So this isn't, oh look, somebody said, so-and-so said something. This is a group of people all saw the same thing, and they all signed what would appear, what to me would be a sworn statement. This first sighting, a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence, would incredibly be followed by another sighting the very next night. At 6 p.m., the larger object appeared again with its occupants. It was shadowed by 2 of the smaller objects. In William Gill's own words, on the large one, two of the figures seemed to be doing something near the center of the deck. They were occasionally bending over and raising their arms as though adjusting or setting up something. One figure seemed to be standing looking down at us. In a moment of anticipation, Gill raised his arms and waved to the figure. To our surprise, the figure did the same. So the figure waved back. Ananias waved both arms over his head. Then the two outside figures did the same. Ananias and myself began waving our arms, and all four seemed to wave back. There seemed no doubt that our movements were answered. So there's a form of communication going on. Gill and Ananias continued to occasionally wave, and their waves were returned. Another witness, Eric Kodawara, waved a torch, and there were acknowledgments from the craft. After a church service at 7:45, Gill again came outside to look for the craft, but clouds had appeared and there was no sign of the object. The very next evening, the shining craft would make one more appearance. Gill counted 8 of them at 6:45. At 11:20, Gill heard a loud bang on the roof of the mission. Going outside to see what had happened, he spied 4 UFOs in a circle around the building. These 4 craft were extremely high in the sky. The roof was checked for damage the next morning, but none was found. All investigators found Gill to be an intelligent, impressive individual. One of the most respected civilian groups, the Victorian Flying Saucer Research Society, stated, Gill's reports constitute the most remarkable testimony of intensive UFO activity ever reported to civilian investigators. They were unique because for the first time, credible witnesses had reported the presence of humanoid beings associated with UFOs. Keep in mind, this is 1959. So, the sighting at Papua brought about an unlikely allegiance among UFO research groups in Australia. So there was lasting effect. Normally these groups are very disparate. They it's going to sound bad. They're like competitors. They want to outdo each other. I got this UFO and I found that, I researched this sighting and I interviewed these witnesses and blah, blah, blah. Now they're cooperating. Dr. Hynek and his staff actually interviewed Gill. They visited the site. They searched weather reports. They stood in the same spot that Gill stood. They interviewed other witnesses of the events. They followed up initial inquiries with subsequent visits and interviews, allowing the passage of time to shed its light on the witnesses and what they saw. 14 years after the fantastic events at Papua, Dr. Hynek revisited Papua New Guinea and re-interviewed 6 of the initial witnesses. They all supported William Gill's initial reports and still believe what they saw to be a real craft of some unknown origin. The Papua New Guinea sighting is one of the best documented cases of an unidentified craft of unknown origin in UFO annals. I want to apologize for reading directly from the article, but these people wrote it better than I could. I'm going to give them all the credit in the world. If you have questions about this particular site, let's see if I can get it on there. These people do really, really good work, and all of their reports are interesting. So you have more than one witness on multiple occasions with communication. In 1959, that was unheard of. I don't know of any other event that happened like that in that time frame, and frankly, short of the alien invasion in Kentucky, where the family had that firefight with them all night, I can't think of much more interaction between the UFO occupants and humans. So, this was at least peaceful. You got to give him that. Amen for it being a priest, I guess. At any rate, so do some more research on that, and if you want to put some comments down there, I'll be glad to read them. But I found this quite interesting because I was doing the research for Dr. Hynek, and I came across this. So again, do some research, and if you have some more information or some more comments, please let us know. You folks have a good day. God bless one and all.